Welcome to the Downtown Happenings Podcast. I'm your host, Jason Ilstrup, president of Downtown Madison, Inc. And on this episode, we're excited to welcome Kristie GoForth, the executive director of Bikes for Kids Wisconsin. But before we get to Kristie, we want to thank our sponsors at Sustainable HRPEO and Colas CPA, a local professional services firm supporting Madison businesses and nonprofits with their various backup office needs. The firm's aims to provide high-quality professional services and be true business partners to small and mid-sized employers. If you're interested in accounting, tax advisory, HR, payroll, and benefits administration, Sustainable HRPEO and Colas CPA are local providers who are committed to serving Madison and the downtown community, and we use them here at DMI. So we love our friends at Colas. They keep our books going the right direction. So thank you to Mike Brand and the team. All right. We're with our good friend live today. We are live and on the scene of Bikes for Kids Wisconsin and our good friend Kristie GoForth. Kristie, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's so great to be here. Welcome to the shop.
Oh my God, the fact that you are in the shop live, look at behind you, all of the bikes. I cannot wait to dig into it.
All right. It's always so fun to talk about this because there's so many facets of this work and a lot of intersectionality. So it'll be an exciting conversation.
I mean, look at all the bikes behind you. You know,
yeah.
What is Bikes for Kids Wisconsin? What's it all about?
Yeah. I think our mission is just encouraging and advocating and making bicycle-based transportation more accessible to all. And we do that through our bike giveaway program, through our bike mechanics youth education program. That's a workforce training program. And then we do that through our support and through sales and service. So you can see, I'll get over here behind me. You can see I've got some people over here working in the shop here, fixing bicycles. So if you need your bike repaired this summer, you can bring it on into our shop here. We're right at the end of near Rimrock Road in the Beltline, right off the Cap City Trail. And that's one way we're working to sustain this program.
Now, we literally are looking at thousands of bikes behind you right now. Where do those bikes come from?
I'll give a pan. These bikes, okay, and you'll see some of these bikes we're really getting some nice quality bikes. Got a lot of little kid bikes right now. These bikes are mostly from Dane County. This is Dane County's obsession with bicycles you're seeing right here. They're coming from, they're abandoned at apartment buildings. So a lot of people, if they don't have a really pricey bike, they leave their bike behind because bikes are challenging to move around unless you're riding it. So they're coming from apartment buildings. They're coming from schools. We have Baraboo Police Department, Cottage Grove Police Department bringing us bikes. So really, and just think of all the kids, how, you're going to notice this soon. Your son grows out of a bike every year. So there's just no end to the limit and the supply of these bikes in this community.
And, some of them are coming in from donations from folks across the community. You could just drop off your old bike right there on Rimrock Road, right?
That's absolutely right. And, we do have set hours Monday through Friday. We're here from about 9:30 till 4. But you can certainly come by. We're really tucked away here, and you can drop your bike off back right behind the shop here, and you'll see a little stash there. We've yet to have any problems with people stealing our donated bikes because usually they need work, right? We don't see people stealing broken bicycles. We see people in this community stealing the nicest of the bicycles. So, but yeah, you can get a good look at this mountain here.
That's literally a mountain of bikes. Okay, so you take all of these bikes in, you fix them up, right? And how do you fix them up? What work do you do on these bikes?
Yeah, I think there's one thing a lot of people think is, oh, they're getting all these bikes donated and that we just roll them in the door and then we can roll them right out. But that's not how it works. These are vehicles here in the state of Wisconsin. We have to make sure every single one of these bikes is fully tuned up and fully serviced, so it can be reliable transportation for people. So when they come in, my shop manager and my mechanic, that's Harvey and Tyler, are here. They put the bike on the stand. They take a look at it, see if the frame is cracked, see if there's any big issues. They basically do a triage. If it can be saved, then we put it in our to fix pile. And then if it can't, then we we end up recycling a lot of bicycles. We make sure we do our best to make sure nothing goes in the landfill as much as we can prevent. Um, Bicycle tires cannot be recycled, so that's the one thing that is going into the landfill. But most of these bikes are being fully repaired, I would say. Yeah, so they would start to triage. Then we use this army of volunteers who they're here every day. We have an amazing group of retirees here all day fixing bikes, and a lot of them are people who spent their lives as either a career mechanic or just they're very handy folks, or they're engineers. Bikes are, building bikes is a lot of engineering.
So once the bikes are finished, where do they go? I mean, how are you helping the kids? How do you distribute the bikes to the kids throughout Wisconsin?
That's a great question. We're not in the business of vetting who gets these bicycles, right? That's outside of our wheelhouse. So what we do is we work with nonprofit partners and public schools. So they apply for the bicycles. And these are nonprofits that are serving marginalized communities. So this year we're giving to organizations like the Great Lakes Intertribal Council. So we'll be giving bikes to 5 of the tribes in northern Wisconsin. Chavez Elementary, Wright Middle School, River Food Pantry, Badger Prairie Needs Network. So it's a list of 36 organizations that will receive bicycles. So between November 1 and January 31, organizations apply to receive bicycles. And then once that application process ends, then we kind of tally all those numbers. We're usually able to give most of those bicycles. Sometimes we have a maximum request number of 100 bikes. If we get too many organizations that we know we can't serve, we'll just trim most of them back to like maybe 70 so that everybody gets some. Because we're really trying to make sure there's as much access out there as possible. And then once the bikes are all repaired, we have 3 different ways people can get their bicycles. It is through a voucher program. So River Food Pantry and the Job Center off of Aberg both use a voucher program. So does the Road Home. So when their constituents need a bike, they provide them with a voucher. They bring it in. We send them out of here with a bike. The other one is the giveaway events. So these are spectacular. They are on April 27th and May 4th this year. They'll happen right out here in the parking lot. And we do need volunteers, especially on May 4th. We have about 200 people coming who very few of them speak English. They mostly speak Spanish. So any bilingual people out there want to come and practice your bicycle Spanish, come on out. That's May 4th. It'll be between, say, 11 and 3 p.m. And then the other way is the bulk load. So the Great Lakes Intertribal Council will come down on Tuesday with a large truck. We'll fill that up with bikes, and they'll head back up north. So that is often how we work with the organizations that are a little further outside of Dane County.
Now, you really do a good job of putting an exclamation point on the fact that this is a vehicle. This is a form of transportation. I'm someone myself. There's literally my bike at my office right now, and this is my main way of transportation. How are you really impacting kids' lives by giving them more of a transportation option?
Yeah, it is. It's a biggest part of our message is that bikes, while they are fun and recreational, the people we're serving, they are transportation. And that usually goes from, say, age 10 and up. Kids are riding to school. They're riding to sporting events. They're riding to their whatever team sports they might be participating in. They're riding to their friend's house or the library or the pool in the summer. And so it's very, very key, though, that we get bikes into the littlest of hands, because I'll show you this cute little bike here. That we give them the little kids bikes too, because what we've found in our work is if you don't give bikes to young children, and it's a small window, by the age of 10, typically, if they don't know how to ride, they are at the point where they're too embarrassed to learn. So the key is we get them that exposure. They've learned to ride. Then as they grow up and move into high school and adulthood, then they know, hey, my bike is more than just fun. It is transportation. And so that's really key because, when we think about our projected growth in Dane County and in Madison, think about the congestion that's going to bring on our roads, right? And like we can't increase the belt line anymore, and so it's just really imperative that we think about this as transportation. We have this incredible trail infrastructure. So, we're going to see probably some congestion of bikes on those trails as well. But yeah, it's a big part of our messaging is that bikes, while they are fun and recreational for the people we're serving, last year that was 92% people of color, they are much more than recreational. Hopefully they are fun for them, but they are a means to get to work, a means to get services, a means to get to school.
Sustainability is a big part of the work that you do, right? You're recycling so many bikes, you're using parts. If you can't use the whole of the bike you just talked about, you'll strip the parts and be able to use it other places. Why is sustainability so important for you all at Bikes for Kids Wisconsin?
Part of it is by necessity. It's a circular economy. That's what we're doing here. So if a bike comes in and we know we can't save it, we're able to still extend the life of that by taking those parts off. So here you see all these racks, these little racks for the back of your bike. These are things that come off of the bikes. These are parts that off bikes that couldn't be saved. So you can see we've got all these crank sets. Here's some cute folding bikes. So we have every kind of bike you can imagine. But yeah, it really it saves us money from having to buy all those parts when we are taking all those parts off. So it's just a natural part of the work. And of course, bikes are the greenest transportation you can have. So it's just a huge part of our work and something we're really committed to. I'll show you our saddle library is kind of fun to see.
I could get a new seat.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Like, so
I love that you literally have a saddle area in your facility.
These are handlebars.
I love it. Okay, so this is not an easy or a cheap venture, right? Where does your funding come from?
Yeah, right now we most of our funding, let's see, every year it's a little bit different. Right now, most of our funding is coming through grants. But some years it's coming mostly from individual donations. We typically see a lot of individual donations just because of the cost of living rising. I think most nonprofits are seeing the individual donations drop. So we're seeing that. And so this year right now, grant applications, grant funding is been our biggest source of revenue. We are doing the sales and service here. So I'll show you some bikes that we'll have for sale. That's really helping us as well. So right now, my mechanics are selling and fixing bikes. You'll see some of these beautiful, we have some beautiful, it's probably hard to see, but we have some beautiful donations, and a lot of these are road bikes that are donated to us. Like this Trek down here is just gorgeous. But the people we're serving are not really interested in road bikes, but we can sell these. A lot of people are. And if you're just getting into road biking and you want to test it out, instead of paying, $2,500 for a bike, you could come here and buy one of these for $400. And, you can see if it's really something you're into. But yeah, so that's our funding source. So we are, it's like you said, it's a costly endeavor. Because we like to provide the accessories that you need as well for safety and reliability. And that includes helmets and headlights. Headlights are a state law. And so unfortunately, and then locks. We've always provided locks. Unfortunately, this year we are having to cut out the locks and the lights, and we're just going with helmets because we just haven't been able to meet our fundraising goal.
I think that begs the question: what can DMI members do to help Bikes for Kids Wisconsin? Make sure that you're living up to the mission and getting as many bikes as we can to as many kids across the state. Oh,
phenomenal. So much of this is tied to workforce development. It's tied to economic development. It's tied to education. It's kind of funny when we apply for a grant, we check all the buckets, because it's sustainability, it's health and wellness. And so, if you're able to donate, even, if that's $50, that right there buys 2 kids locks, so all of it helps. A helmet costs us $10 a piece. So right now we have a match month going. So any donations that come in this month, it will be matched 100% by an anonymous donor. But yeah, so I would say financial donations right now is our biggest need. A lot of people ask us if we can take used helmets. Unfortunately, we can't. We can't give them away. We are sending some bikes. You may have seen in the news, we sent 555 bikes to Ghana in November, and those arrived there December 10th. And we do send some used helmets there. Like if we ended up getting some beautiful high-end helmets, and we stuck them in there in that shipping container. And then when we watched the video of them unloading it, it was so fantastic to see these guys wearing these $300 helmets from Dane County. It was so cool. So we'll take some used helmets right now because we are getting ready to ship another crate over.
Yeah, it's how many you send, you've been working on different partnerships with countries across the globe, right? You talked about Ghana, you've done projects in El Salvador, Malawi.
That's
How did
right.
this start? How did the international work start?
Yeah, it's through a partner in Chicago called Working Bikes, and they do very much what we do, but they only serve adults who are using their bikes to get to work and in third world countries. So oftentimes it's they've had an environmental disaster. So when we sent bikes to Honduras, they'd had a hurricane that wiped everything out. Um, and so because they're in Chicago, they get a lot of children's bikes. And so they don't want the little tiny bikes. So there's a truck that runs back and forth. They just came last week and dropped us off 140 bikes. So I'll show you that pile. You've seen it, but I'll point it out. But yeah, so that this partnership works great for them because we're able to send them the bikes that aren't as desirable for us here, and then they give us the kids bikes that they can't use. So it's fantastic partnership.
What are we missing? I mean, what else do we need to know about Bikes for Kids Wisconsin? Because you are doing an amazing job of showing us on a tour. Anything else that we're missing that we want to make sure that we get out to our members at DMI?
June 1st, we're having our Everything Bikes garage sale. So you can see this tandem. I just happened to be by the tandem. These are fantastic. We'll have these fixed up. We have quite a few of them. We even have an electric tandem. These are great. If you have like an Airbnb rental, have a tandem there. I've done vacations where I've rented a tandem, and it's so much fun because not often you get to ride a tandem, and it's perfect when you're on vacation. And then you don't have to buy multiple bikes, you just buy one. This is the load that came in from Working Bikes on Friday. Pretty nice
Wait,
bike.
let me just be clear. So you said you don't have to buy two bikes, you just can use a tandem? I like that.
Just buy the one tandem. Yeah, and you're covered.
So
June
do you
1st
ever get
on that garage
unicycles?
sale.
Do you ever get unicycles?
Oh, we do. They're in here. I'll find one for you. We've got
normally I would say it's not a form of transportation, but when I worked at Hotel Red, for years, there was a guy that used to use, the Southwest Trail runs right in front of where Hotel Red was. Kristie, every single day, I'd see him before and after work biking downtown on a unicycle.
Oh my gosh, I've seen it. I've seen it over by people riding by kind of right off of Willie Street on the path there.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Look at all this work happening in the shop. I love it. I love it.
Yes.
All right, Kristie, are you ready? We've got a little bit of we're going to throw you a curveball here.
Okay. I'm as ready as
we do something called the Fast and Furious 5. I ask you 5 questions that you just give me your answer that comes off the top of your head. Are you ready?
Okay. Let it rip.
All right. What is the best bike you've ever ridden?
Oh, we have a fat tire here and I love it. It's fat, huge fatty. And it's so
I like
fun.
that. Okay. Awesome. You're on your fat tire bike. What's your favorite bike path in Madison?
I'm going to say Winger Creek. I love the Winger Creek Trail. You feel like you're not in a city. It's beautiful. The water, the bridges. It's just so peaceful. I love it.
I mean, we are so lucky to have some amazing trails and paths here in Madison. You can get around. I mean, I'm on my bike all the time, and I'm rarely out around roads.
And I tell you, if you ask me that question in 2 months, I'll have a different answer. It'll be whatever trail I just rode.
All right, you and I will go on a ride, and we'll try to find the best spot. All right, we're going to go on to downtown. What's your favorite restaurant? Your favorite restaurant downtown?
Downtown. Oh boy, this is hard to pick favorites.
That's why we do it. It's like picking your favorite kid. I only have one, so it makes it a lot easier. So Mateo's my favorite.
I really enjoy the old fashioned.
Yeah, it's good. All right. Favorite concert you've ever seen in downtown?
Oh, concerts on the square, of course.
Good answer. Good answer. All right. Last question. You've got out of town guests coming to Madison. What do
Okay.
you do with them for a day downtown? The perfect day
Oh,
downtown.
yeah. Definitely hit the Capitol, go up on the terrace up above. Um, then we'd stroll down State Street, go to the Union, get some Babcock ice cream. It's the classic. That's it. And enjoy those views of the lakes. Circle back with a view from the top of Monona Terrace, and then head on out. That's my loop.
Well, it's as if you have my own loop because my secret was to take them to the top of the Capitol, but you just gave that to everybody. So now it'll be crowded all summer. Appreciate that. All right, you get one bonus question then because you brought it up.
Okay.
What's your favorite Babcock ice cream flavor?
Oh yeah. Um, it's the well, oh boy, I haven't had the Babcock. I was gonna say it's the oh, is it do they have a Fat Elvis? Is that
Oh, no, that's chocolate shop, but
chocolate chip?
we'll give you credit for
Okay.
that because that's also downtown. That's fair.
Yes.
Yes.
It'll be anything with caramel, nuts, chocolate, loaded
Mm.
up with all those goodies.
All right, fine. We got a deal. We're gonna go on a bike ride together. We're gonna go get some ice cream and we'll
Earn
figure out
some
what our
ice cream.
favorite Babcock flavor is.
I love it. That sounds fantastic.
Well, Kristie GoForth, Executive Director of Bikes for Kids Wisconsin. Thank you for joining us for our Downtown Happenings podcast. We're so excited for the work that you're doing here. If you have never met Kristie,
Yeah.
her energy is amazing. Please support this wonderful organization and get more kids in our community on bikes because it's a form of transportation and everyone needs to be able to get around our city for work, for pleasure, for school. So thank you for what you're doing, Kristie.
Thank you all so much. Come on by for a tour. Come on in for shopping for your bikes, or if you need some service, we're here.
I love it. All right. Thank you for joining us on the Downtown Happenings podcast. I'm Jason Elstra, president of Downtown Madison Inc. We'll see you on our next episode. And thanks to our friends at Cola CPA for your sponsorship. We'll see you downtown. Have a good day.